Hey Detroit, it's your girl Tina with Spectacle Society, and I am here with Richard Mehwa from Bevel Spectacles, and I am so excited to introduce you to him. He is the designer of Bevel, and Bevel is a line that I have loved for over a decade, and I can't wait for all of you Detroiters to get a chance to try them on. So, Richard, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. So glad that you could make it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, Richard, Detroit has not had Bevel in the city before. So, I'm wondering if you could tell the Detroiters a little bit about how the company started.
So we started actually 20 years ago, and both myself and my partner at the time were sales reps, believe it or not, who I'd always wanted to design my own collection, had always found myself as a little bit of an amateur designer and had some ideas over the years. And it was really just a question of timing, finding the right time, probably similar for you with your own shop. You kind of get to a point where you feel like, you have the tools maybe to be able to do your own thing, and you have the ideas, and then you also have, the other practical things, right, that you need to put in place to have a business, to start a business. And also, I think probably the biggest thing is to be in the right mental place, is to say, this is the time. It's either now or never. And that's how I felt at the time. I was really ready to take on a new challenge, even though it was a little scary because we were expecting our first child at that time. So
Whoa.
it was definitely a little scary time. But I don't think there's ever like the perfect time for starting your own business. So
Got to jump in.
exactly, yeah. So that's how we started, and yeah. So it was 21 years later, we're still here and we're still enjoying it. And I love what I do. And I'm very lucky that I do love what I do. So yeah, it's great. It's been a challenging year, but it's,
Yeah.
I do,
Yes.
starting a business right now it's been rough, but
Yeah.
it's also been, for me, very encouraging and very, what's the word? It really has made me feel pretty good about things when we've had so much support from our clients. People have been very loyal and supportive, and it's made me feel very good, even though things have been so trying, that we have so much support out there from our customers, and so that's meant a lot to me personally, and to all of us in our company. So
Absolutely. Well, Bevel is well loved, in the independent eyewear community. And for good reason, really. And that kind of leads me into my next question. Let's talk a little bit about, what makes Bevel so amazing, right? A little bit about the material, the construction, the patented hinge, all of the things that make just Bevel stand out above the rest.
right. So I think probably the main thing is color. One thing we've always prided ourselves, or found most important, one of the most important aspects, is the color that we use. And it's not just about bright colors. It's about colors. I've always taken a very cosmetic approach to color design. So I initially followed MAC Cosmetics color assortments, because I thought, well, if somebody is going to wear glasses, they want it to complement their skin, and what else complements your skin and works with your skin, embellishes and lifts. And how do we make glasses actually really embellish? And that's been my goal from the beginning, is not to design something that is really a distraction from the person's face. It's really something that lifts and complements and makes us look younger or more sexy, or whatever it is you want to achieve with a pair of glasses, or all of that, right? We want to have. And so for me, it's been about, kind of another layer of makeup, if you like. And that's for men and women. Men are obviously a lot more conservative, especially in the United States and North America. But generally speaking, that's been a major foundation. The other thing I say is, we were minimalist in our in our detail work, but also we took a quite a technical or technological viewpoint in terms of the design of the frames. We wanted something that was that really made sense for the wearer. And again, it goes back to the importance of comfort over the importance, or not over, but I mean, it's a hugely important aspect for me, is the wearability. I wear glasses, I want them to be comfortable. And I really do wear the most comfortable glasses we have. I'm wearing a pair right now that's so light, it's amazing. So those were the aspects I think that were really important. And then you mentioned also the patented hinge, which again it came about 6 or 7 years into the design process, and we kind of came up with the idea of working with 2 different types of titanium to have this hinge, which was very functional. So it allowed the glasses to the temples, which are the arms of the glasses, to open up a little bit more, which allows an extra level of comfort, and also which is extremely strong. And so those 2 things, along with our minimalist design aesthetic, made up the patented hinge.
Well, I have to say that's one of the parts about Bevel, especially when I sit down and talk to engineers, that they're always so excited about, just because, you know, everybody's worn a pair of glasses that has a spring hinge that breaks internally and you can't repair it and your pair of glasses is shot. And these are just so durable and so lightweight, and the design is just beautiful. People just kind of go, oh, that's so smart every time they look at them, right? It was just such a brilliant way of attacking the spring hinge, right? And giving that level of comfort that everybody likes to have with it. So definitely just innovative, and I think everybody loves that. But I do have to say, color, you guys have been amazing in color, and especially I'm wearing one now and I love like the softer, paler pink on the inside. It just looks so great with my skin tone, and I've had everybody put on a Bevel and be like, wow, this looks like it doesn't stand out too much. It has just the right amount of color. It, you know, it just goes with me, right? And for most people, I can find a Bevel for pretty much anyone who walks in the door for that reason. They just tend to work with everyone, and you guys have such beautiful shapes and sizes that are wonderful. So one of the little things as a lover of Bevel that I've appreciated over the years is the cleverness behind how you name your frames. And so I'd love to talk about that a little bit, because when people pick them up, especially when they start coming into the store and pick them up, I love for them to kind of go, oh, what? Wait a second, what is this called? Like, this is kind of adorable.
Yeah, well, I think really we've always had a sense of humor. Anybody who knows us has always known that about us, and we don't take ourselves too seriously. And I've had conversations with customers over the year, oh, why don't you name it after celebrities or whatever? And that's just not us. We're kind of, I think we always wanted to convey the humanity behind us and our collection. And so we really avoid the typical, you know, whatever it is, I don't like to say pretentious, but it's maybe
Sure.
we're a very, if you know me, if you know our team, that we're all kind of jokers, and we enjoy silly jokes as much as anything else. So a lot of our collection themes are some of them are not funny. They're more just kind of like something we find interesting. But then other times, depending on how much wine we've drunk, usually they can be very funny. So we you know, again, it's kind of like inspiration, whatever comes to mind. But it doesn't have to be funny, but it has to be something that we find interesting or relevant. So that's kind of where we are with that. But,
absolutely. Yeah. I feel like some of the plays on words, plays on phrases have just been really clever over the years, and I've really appreciated them. And I think a lot of my clients have just loved that kind of like, oh, this is so tongue in cheek, so cute, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and it's not
Well,
something that anybody else really sees, right? It's on the inside of the frame. Nobody really knows, but it just is this clever, like, oh, that's so cute. Um,
it's somewhat symbolic of who, again, we don't put the name of the brand on the outside of the frame. Um, and that's something I've always appreciated about design is that it doesn't have to be in your face. It can be subtle. And so I've always appreciated certain designers like Paul Smith originally, different designers over the years who've used very subtle techniques of designing that you discover. So I love this. I kind of like like that aspect of like you put something on, you don't notice it for a while, and then you say, "Wow, that's really cool," or something funny that you just see. Oh my God, they put that on there. It's that's kind of way I like is that interaction with what you're buying or what you're wearing, and I think that's especially these days, I think it's really important to have that connection. So. Um,
Absolutely. And I really do feel like so much of the collection has this beautiful, like classic timeless feel, right?
right,
Like you could wear this frame, for years. It's just so beautiful, right? And depending on the color you go with, I mean, some of the ones that are more classic in like a tortoise or the tusk color, which is that striated gray tone,
right.
are just, I mean, they're beautiful. It's something that I could absolutely see myself wearing, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, that sort of thing. So I love that. And I feel like it appeals to a large group of the population, right? Who wants something that's just beautiful on them, but is going to just enhance and complement who they are.
Yeah,
And at Spectacle Society, we're doing a lot of focus on really helping people express who they are and their individuality through their eyewear. And sometimes that means something bold and crazy and, over the top and amazing because you want people to notice. And sometimes that means I want it to just look amazing on me. I want to show myself through this, right? And I think there's Bevel is just amazing for that. You have so many options because they can say, oh, I want that bolder frame, right? I want that frame that's in that bright blue, or I want that frame that's in that bright red or purple. But there are other ones where they can, the frame color can take a little bit of a back seat and just be a complement to, how they want to stand out on their own.
yeah. Well, if I think if you own a couple of pairs, especially, you can take that. I don't like to say risk, but you can also maybe dress up one time. You want to look like same with way we dress or way we accessorize, or it's something that you really want to maybe change up a little bit. You want to have a pair that you really, you want to impress everybody and stand out. And then there are other times where maybe you want to not take a back seat, but just be yourself and hang out. It's kind of like how we are with wearing sweatpants one day, and then
Exactly.
during this whole time of lockdown, it's like I've been missing wearing nice clothes. It's
Yes.
been like
Yes.
so it's like, oh my God, I want to dress up a little bit. I think a lot of people feel that way, right? It's like
I
so, but
know.
you
I
have
know.
like two sides to your eyewear as well. It's like you can wear something that's a little bit more funky or fashionable or whatever you want to call it one day, and then something maybe a little bit more subtle the other days. So
Exactly.
it's great
And
to
it
have that choice.
absolutely, it's like having an eyeglass wardrobe, right? Like in the same way that you have clothing. So if you have a few options, you get to kind of play around a little bit, explore different facets of your personality with them, and really just feel like when you put something on, it works for you for that moment, how you're feeling in that day.
Right, right. And one thing I've we've been very lucky with over the years is our clients, as in our consumers who've bought Bevel, have really they come back. I mean, it's just quite amazing. And I'm not saying this to brag. It's just it's a reality. And one of the reasons is we really have spent so much time on the comfort and wearability aspect of it, where that has been so important to us, and addressing certain needs, like especially at the beginning and all throughout the time, we've addressed needs like smaller petite faces, which has been one of our strengths over the years. We've also, in even the last 10 years, done a lot of frames for men, especially bigger men. So we have kind of the, we don't just design frames for the average so-called face. We try to design so that people who have very petite, very narrow bridges, very wide bridges, we kind of think of people as they are, which is everybody is different. So as a frame designer, that's one of the things that I look to is, trying to accommodate people who don't have the perfect, average, I would say, nose and height and everything else. So it's really, again, I think that's something that appeals to consumers, that they can find something for themselves that they wouldn't find somewhere else.
Absolutely. And you guys are stellar with that. And especially, I love that I can fit so many people in Bevel, which is amazing, a range of people. The petites especially, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had, very petite faces come in and say like, all right, am I going to be in kids frames today? Like that, and I can be like, no, not at all. I have a frame line that's designed specifically with you in mind. Like I've got that. So, that's just a lovely thing. But I also think that that versatility and the comfort is really, once you put on a pair of Bevels, it's hard to not be a fan. And that's really, in all honesty, the truth. I put my sister in Bevel, got it probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and she loved them. I mean, just so much so I got her a second pair. She was like, these are amazing. Can we do another one? And I was like, yes, absolutely we can. Because once you wear them, they're so comfortable and wonderful.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just so grateful that we're going to get a chance to have them for Detroiters. I think we've got such an amazing community here in Detroit, and such a varied community. And I can't wait to get some Bevel on all of our Detroiters. I think they're just going to fall in love with it. So
it's such a great city, and I've heard so many things about how it's changing, and really it's a very vibrant city right now, which is great to hear. And I think that, I feel it's a great opportunity to be in your shop, and I'm looking forward to seeing your shop one day whenever we can travel up there, and
when we can travel again.
yeah, and get to see you and see how it goes. But I'm sure that it'll be great, because I can tell that you have the energy and that's really what it requires, is somebody who really believes in what they're doing, and that.
Absolutely. Well, and just like you have a passion for the designing aspect, I absolutely love design, but I love the moment of finding the right frame for somebody. That is that's the moment I chase all the time, is that incredible high of somebody puts something on and it's a magical moment when people find the right frame. And I love to be able to do that with Bevel. So Richard, I want to thank you for taking the time today. I really appreciate it.
No, you're welcome.
Absolutely. And good. And Detroiters, don't forget to get on to spectaclesocietydetroit.com. Book your appointments now. We are open the last 2 weeks of December, and that is the busiest time of year. So you want to make sure you get those appointments now and come on in to try on some Bevel, okay? And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you, Tina. Take care.
All right.